Hi guys. Today I've been going through a huge death process, and I wanted to share something about home, this feeling of home, and it's been with me for a long time. So I'm doing this podcast spontaneous. You can watch it later. And it's this feeling of I can't find home. I don't know who has it right now. I've heard it from my friends, from my family, from people that I know, clients. This feeling of home. I can't find home. Where is it? You know, you travel around the world. There's a lot of things happening. You start a new chapter in your life in this location. You rent a house and you feel like, okay, finally I'm there, and then you have to move. Where's my people? That's another one. That's another. Where are my people? Where's my tribe? Right? This home, feeling of home. And I have to tell you that first of all, it doesn't exist. Outside of you doesn't exist, but we'll get there. And just about my story, that how I've traveled the world. I've traveled the world. Every 3 months I traveled a new place. I just pick a place on the planet, trying to find that feeling of home, doing different things and sports and climbing Everest, and I mean, I'm diving in Cuba and living in Bali and different in France, in Malaysia. I lived in, I went to Japan, I traveled US, I lived in US, I moved to US from Russia. I've been to a few places in Russia. I lived. Where else I've been? Many places in Asia. I traveled with my partners, with my ex-partners, with friends, with spiritual community. I have lived in so many places and started my home, started my business in France, for example, and it's always short. It's always short term. I just unpack, decorate. I don't know about women, but we want this nest, right? We want this nest where we decorate and put our things, and we imagine it's gonna be this way, that way, and put curtains and you know, your plants, bookshelf for me, and then something happens and you have to leave, and you think, just like me, I arrived to France and I'm like, okay, finally I feel something. I feel here. And I lived in the spiritual community for 5 years, and then outside of the community for 5 years in a huge, humongous 18th century farmhouse, out of nowhere, in nowhere, in the middle of nowhere, in the nature, with my partner and doing my business. And yet when that collapsed, I lost that feeling. I lost that home. So it's this feeling of home to be comfortable. So let's talk about why this feeling of home, this home is a feeling, is a place within you. It's inside you. Kingdom of home, kingdom of heaven, right, within you. It's hard to understand. This is religious text. My mind doesn't understand that. But through life, I can just give you in a simple term that you can follow and you can understand what I'm talking about, and then and guide you into this, to help you to get there in 21st century. What does it mean to find this kingdom of heaven within you? So it's so when let's talk about what feeling when you don't have a home. So when you don't have a house, when you're homeless, right? What happens? How do you feel, right? It's a feeling, right? How do you feel? The world is hostile. You feel alone. You're at war. You constantly have to defend your boundaries, your ground, to find even tiniest place where you can feel comfortable. It's loneliness. You alone, and you small. You feel like a child. You feel a child, unprotected, unsafe. It's a feeling of constant struggle, pain. You're going through suffering and through some obstacles and challenges. It's very challenging world, and place inside of you is very on the edge of the war, constant struggle. There's no safety. There is no relaxation. Your nervous system is on fire all the time. You're battling things. You get people take advantage of you. People will abuse you because you in this child state, child naive state, right? When you don't have a home, you're not adult, you are a child, and the child needs protection. And when it doesn't have a protection, when you don't have your own protection, just imagine if you're 4-year-old living on the street. You don't have emotional protection, you don't have physical protection, you can't fight back, you can't get resources, you can't earn money. So it's a constant survival. It's constant survival for basic things, for food, for air that you breathe, for water, for love, for shelter. Okay, so that's constant state of survival. And I know you've all experienced that. You understand what I mean. And so this constant state of survival, this is our everyday life. Even if you're adult, right now, if you're 50, 60-year-old, you still know and understand what I'm saying. Even if you have a home, if you have a house, if you have an apartment, if you have a partner, if you have children, and the feeling is still there. That's I'm gonna guide you into this home feeling, how to develop that, because home is not the outside. It's not in your children. It's not in the outside. As soon as you put something in the outside, it will collapse. It will collapse at some point, because you get used to this. You get used to this. But life wants to develop you. Life wants to train you. Life wants to bring you into the adulthood. So through that attachment. So home is not your physical home. Home is not an apartment. Home is not your place when you travel. Home is not your family. Home is not your people. Home is not your tribe. Home is not your mother and father. You remember the feeling when you were a child and you were in you felt safe, but you were also a shithead when you were at the parents, right? You don't appreciate that. You want to run away from that home. So again, when you comfortable in the outside, you're not developing, you're not learning nothing, you're not growing. So you're gonna stay as a child. So it's the same thing through life. When we go through life, we stay in this small position as a child, in the home that we create. We don't, and that's why we don't develop. We degrade. We degenerate. we turn into gummy bears, spineless gummy bears, and more in the childhood state. That's why you will see couples when they live for so long, and at the end of their life, they look like two children living together, right? Because they just get used to each other. It's comfortable, and they don't want to do. They don't want to be outside. They don't want to know who they are. They don't want to develop that feeling inside. But for those of you who are listening and who understand what I'm talking about, that a constant state of changes, and I went through so many different difficult places, difficult situation where I created my home from the last money I had. I've invested, and then it crumbles, and then you're homeless again, and you have to start again with a new relationship. With again, you pick that up, and when you find yourself in that place when you thought you created the home, you created a good base. It's all illusion and a fake, and then it dissolves in instants in front of your eyes. It's a fucking hell. It's a hell. It's a hell of a situation, but that's a reality. So it's training you to develop that home feeling in the inside, and that feeling of the inside is stable and stays with you no matter where you go, no matter who you're with, how the situation changes. And because in the future, the outside life is going to be like this. We're always going to have war, we're always going to have life circumstances that absolutely are not dependent on you. You can control that. And that's what happens when you become attached to something, to relationship, to house, to outside place, and that one day crumbles. It creates such a big hole and pain that some collapse and don't survive. Even your spiritual family, your spiritual home, one day will collapse because it's the same thing. You will get used to, you will be comfortable. I'll do another podcast about spirituality, but that you lose your authenticity, you lose your willpower. In spiritual community, you lose power. It's beautiful, it's fantastic, you can do many things, but it's the same thing. There is a hole in the pain, it just fills the hole in the pain with mantras and chanting and hugs, endless hugs and so on. So it's a beautiful Disneyland. So again, when that home, when I didn't feel myself in a spiritual community, and also created a friction. When that creates friction, you are strong soul. you cannot be enslaved. Okay, so that's the feeling why you want to get out. As soon as you're comfortable, even in relationship, why people start to feel trapped, because it creates, you lose your authenticity, and you get used to it through this manipulation, and then bam, one day you separate, because it happens. That's normality. And then you're left without home again. So this feeling when you don't have a home, you don't have stability, you don't have a place, you don't have a place where you can unpack, where you can be yourself. It's a painful place. It's a painful place from where you run away, right? It's a place you constantly running from shelter to shelter. But you get to one shelter, you feel like you're safe, and then you want to run away from that shelter because this is also a small box. So it's restricting. A feeling of home in a physical, in this 3D reality is very restrictive. That's why we even houses, even huge castle. People lived in castles before, castles, and that was not enough. People ruled country, and that was not enough for them. Yeah, that's another thing, because it's ego. Again, it's a childhood ego where it's a whole. It doesn't matter how much you can. A whole planet, 20 planets. You can go there and you cannot be satisfied. So that's another feeling. That's opposite of feeling of when you have on the other spectrum of not having a home. Okay. So, but it roots into being you as a child. It's a childhood state where you looking for home outside. When you're an adult, you're gonna look for home inside, because you understand you're responsible for that state and you can create it. Then you realize, fuck, I can create the state myself. Wow, I don't need to ask anyone. That's another level of adulthood. But so what's the other place when you don't have a home? The other place is you constantly burn out. You use your energy to fight. You use your energy to protect yourself. You use your energy to survive. Coffee drinking, and get up, drink coffee, and go to that work that you hate internally. But you trapped because you have 30 kids and you have a mother to take care of, you have responsibility that you put on yourself, and now you have a heartburn, you have cancer in your breast, and you are internally bleeding, and that's woman. Where is a home here for that woman? There's no home. If she has 5 minutes with herself, she'll run away because of the pain and emptiness that she feels. So she will do laundry, she will fold something, she will clean, not to feel that. The hole that create children when they leave the house, when mothers didn't work on them, the hole that creates. Hi guys, and it's that hole is huge. I'll do another podcast about mothers and daughters. It's very deep, very, very deep subject. So that's the feeling of home. Even though these mothers created home, they lived with a husband that drinks on the weekend in the evening and comes home and snuggles with your mother. My ex-husband did that. The state of that, smelling of that alcoholic, belligerent man next to you, right? And then she gets up and she takes care of the children, cooks him breakfast, and irons his clothes and his underwear, washes that. She's thinking she's creating home where she's comfortable, and then one day that guy beats her up, puts her in jail, and what happens? She has to sell the home because she can't provide. She doesn't have skills to survive. Now she's really in surviving mode, but now she has no energy to do that. So there's different scenarios where we lose our home, and we in that place, in that scenario, and that it's a horrible place. It's a horrible place. It's fucking hell. I tell you, and I went through many scenarios of the same thing to understand and to realize how difficult, how easy it is to get there and how difficult it is to get out. And what that home is not outside. And I cannot place that home outside. I cannot create home with someone else. Even if I go to business with a man, if I want to go to a whole country with anybody, thinking I'm creating home for me, it's not home. It's not home. Because that partner can change his mind, and or someone else can change their mind, because we develop, we evolve. We are here to evolve. It's evolution. We're learning. It's simulation. It's matrix. We're learning. So that person can change. I change. I'm not the same that was yesterday. So if you create a home, and then what happens when you create a home together, even if there is a contractual, even if you have a contract as a husband and wife, right? There's a lot of these contracts. It's a business. It's a marriage is a business proposition. You give me this, I give you that. Basically, a woman gives the energy to a man, and man receives and gives her material things. That's kind of like in. I mean, I'm just being honest with you. Everything is contractual, okay? There is no love. It's just contract between two people. And until they go into adulthood and conscious adulthood. But we have only like maybe 1-2% people exist. So the reality of such, and that's truth, and that's truth you will realize as a woman, for example. And the sooner you realize that's the truth, the faster you go into adulthood. Girls already adult. They're fully already fully mature. You know, at age of 14. But our mothers smothering us with programs and making all kinds of different conditions that she's programmed with, through guilt, through whatever. We tend to stay longer because we out of debt, out of guilt, out of whatever, we don't go into our own realization, self-realization. We feel contracted to give our mother's love, so we turn into adult for our adult mother. I mean, I don't know who has experienced that, but that's another topic. I'm gonna go into that in more details too. But this is the home, okay? So that's the home. We're trying to create a home. So we finally, at age of 14, 17, 18, you rebel. You rebel when you're in the home of restriction, when you are not self. You're gonna rebel that. Hi guys. We're joining, and you because you want to feel an adult, so you want to go into the life, but a life out there, you don't know, you don't have the skills, you're still a child, you have to develop, you have to learn, and then you meet another child, and then you create a home together, and you have a child together, and then 10 years later, 5 years later, 2 years later, 1 year later, you realize, fuck, this was not home. This was psych hospital. This was a prison cell, because that person is abusive. Because we're naive, we still need to learn to become an adult. So a lot of people taking advantage of us. We don't have willpower to withstand the world, okay? So that's how we lose. We create an illusion, and we lose illusion. We go into illusion with another illusion, and then that dissolves. Who has here? I mean, you listen and you know what I'm talking about. You went through 50 relationships. I don't know how many relationships you've been. How many women I've talked to, they're like, oh no, I'm in a relationship, I don't want to get married. Because when you get married, you're gonna go deep into your subconscious work, because that partner is here for you to grow that child within you. And yeah, so a lot of people go into like suddenly like everything was okay, then as soon as we moved in together, disaster struck, you know, because it's programs. Now we went into contract with programs. So if you imagine you in relationship, you a program and he's a program, and you are you're not dealing with their higher self, with their conscious, with their nothing. You dealing with their programs. That's why we feel sometimes like on the edge of like, am I going crazy? Because you lose in yourself. There is no energy. You can't hold the boundary yet. You don't know where your boundary, what do you feel, especially if you empath, especially human design, if you have a splenic open channel, that's it. If you are starseed, forget about it. You have supernatural abilities to sense people. So imagine if you were someone else, you sense their programs on top of yours. So it's a lot to be in a relationship. That's why that home collapses at some point. It will blow up in your face because it's illusion. You create an illusion with illusion. And so what's outside of that home is death. There is no life. Or inside that home that you create, it's death. You create death, pain, suffering, some kind of trade. You know, you cleaning socks is giving you some money for bread. It's horrible. It's horrible. You're in slavery. So your home becomes, instead of a palace, even if you live in a palace, it will become a prison cell. That's why people in the 18, they would go crazy. They would stage some parties, some sex and drinking blood and whatever. You know, there's all this stuff because your childhood ego, you can't feel, and it becomes a prison for your soul. I'm not talking about bots that they have no soul, they're just here, you know, they're just like whatever. They're not gonna feel anything. But the emotional, we feel emotion. When the soul is trapped, we feel emotion. We feel emotional. We're very emotional, especially women. We become emotional. Have you been told that you're emotional? You're irrational. You're emotional. Like what happened to you, especially around the period? That's another topic. So that we're emotional. We get trapped. If the emotions, like look at the child. If the child doesn't express emotion, they're emotional creatures. They express emotion right away. They feel shitty. They're gonna cry. They temper tantrum. Okay. They need to express. They don't have these contractions. Oh, it's society. Yeah, I'm not sure. I'm supposed to scream in the. But you're supposed to scream. If you need to scream, you need to scream. If it's in the mall, scream in the mall. It doesn't. You see what I mean? So we create this. We create this structure ourselves by oh, we're not supposed to behave like this because I'm a woman. Because I'm not supposed to say fuck words because I'm a woman. You know, like my mom told me, like, oh, how dare you? I don't like that. I don't like that. In the spiritual community, try that. Try to say fuck words. What happens? Or try to eat meat in the vegan community. You see what I mean? So these are regulations. These are morality. This is morality, and that's why in the country you can even have a beautiful home. You feel in the cell because it's internal feeling. Not even spirituality can touch it. And I will get there, how to get there. So that's the feeling when you feel trapped. When you feel you can't get out. Even in the most beautiful relationship, loving relationship, people sometimes, you even look at the Hollywood couples and you're like, oh my God, fuck. They've got the money, they've got the amazing roles, they have children, they have beautiful home, they have everything. And then they divorcing. What the fuck is happening? And you're like, that's it. I have no hope for me. I have no hope. Even spiritual couples. I looked up to one spiritual couple in my community, and then they, the man started he went to another woman, and my heart just melted. Like, oh my God, I can't. Not even in spiritual community, my heart broken, my illusion broke. It doesn't exist. That home feeling. That stability you're looking for, safety, stability, loyalty, right? It doesn't exist. Outside it doesn't exist because we are projections. Here we are projections. The only thing that you can create permanent, stable, true love is outside of the matrix. It's outside of the matrix, but you can bring that into the matrix. Okay? So that's a feeling. It's a feeling that you can connect with. It's a source. We'll get there. It's a source that you connect, and then you channel that into 3D. And that's where you real. That's when you real. You don't have pain. You don't have morality. You real. You need to be a bitch. You're being a bitch. You're a witch. You're being a witch. If you are schizophrenic, be schizophrenic. But be yourself. When you're not yourself, when you're like, oh, on a social media, I can't be myself. I can't say fuck word. I can't. Then, do you see that? Then there are so many times that I couldn't be myself in many relationships. There, at the beginning, kind of seemed like, oh, scratching the surface, but then you go deep and you're not yourself. That person can hold you because he's got his shit. So, and then what happens in relationship, right? We're like, oh, that's it. You take your toys, I'll take my toys, and I'm not gonna talk to you. Childhood, right? We back into childhood because you didn't provide me with adult skills. You didn't provide me with home. I asked you, so there were my expectations. I put expectations. I gave you my love, and you didn't you didn't become adult for me. Where you need to grow up. You are the one who is responsible for making your home. So if you build that home and it collapses, it's your responsibility, nobody else. But you don't want to take that responsibility. You want to blame. Oh, that guy is such a fucking asshole. It's not. That's you. It's you. You didn't build it. You didn't grow up inside that home. So that was the only, the purpose of a home is to develop an adult. and create a home within. So it's like a snail, you know. Snails, they have their own home, they carry their home all the time. Without the home, they're dead, right? Or they build they get a new home, but usually it's one home. I don't know so much about snails, but they carry their home with them all the time, and they feel at home anytime there's a danger, they're like boop, inside the home. Is it heavy to carry the home? For snails, yeah, I could imagine that's kind of, but maybe it becomes natural. But for you, when you develop that inside, that feeling, at the beginning is very hard, but it then becomes natural if you don't need it. You're not dependent on anyone. Okay, so what happens? So we described, I think you understand, when there is no home. Deficit, pain, suffering, constant running, constant nervous system. You'll be on magnesium for the rest of your life, and hopes, and drinking painkillers and all kinds of things until you get a disease. It's a disease. It's a state of disease. It's when you don't like your body, when you feel uncomfortable being inside your body because it's so painful, because you hate your body. You gain weight and you're not in the body. Feeling home. And it's what else is you feel weak. There is a weakness, right? There is a weakness. There is that feeling of raw, being exposed, being naked all the time, not protected. There's a lot of outside hostility, this war. And my needs are not met. I cannot be comfortable. So let's talk about when you have a home. So when you have a home, okay, even if you've lived in a home, you understand what that home feeling, even maybe it's temporary, but you understand. Home is where you 100% yourself, even 20% yourself, that you can unpack. You can unpack and you can put curtains the way you want. Your mother doesn't tell you, no, it's not the color that I like, or it's usually a child, you know, when you were a child, right? It's your own room, and you put your own, you decorate it the way you want. You know, you want some. I had a Kevin Costner picture of Kevin. I was in love with Kevin Costner. And what else? I had some pictures of nature. And I needed to have my play, and I like Egyptian pyramids. I like mysteries. So there was my home was full of these past life memories, items. But that seemed very chaotic for my mother, because to her home has to be straight, has to be, you know, your home. Shows who you are inside, right? So the way you decorate your home, the colors, everything is you. It's internally. How would you paint inside? What colors? If you paint your walls black, you in the death. You dying. There is death inside, right? You don't feel alive. And it also changes, right? You changes. You decorating different homes. I don't know. You know, sometimes you want cave kind of like feeling, or sometimes you want open windows, veranda, open to the things, because you want to open this. You are being so fucked up in this little cell that you just want to just give me those world. I want to get out of there. Is your spirit wants to get out. But anyway, so that's the home feeling is when you can be yourself, when you can say what you want, when you don't get a feedback, when you don't get reprimanded, when you don't receive criticism, for example, right? Or somebody say, you know, to you it was like amazing idea, I just want to share with someone, and someone said, no, that's stupid. So your creativity is a place, and then you go into, there's so much knowledge. I wanted to learn about spirituality, and in my home it was 3D. It's a material, heavy, dense material home. It's apartment on the 9th floor in Russia, just imagine, Soviet, just box, just freaking box, gray, no colors, just cells. It's a prison, just the feeling I was there, comfortable for a little bit, but then you feel so congested. So when I went outside, I was like, oh, freedom. Went into the spiritual community, like, oh, finally, people are talking about what I wanted to hear. I wanted to hear about God. I wanted to hear about my inner state. But then it became another prison, and that's another topic. So it's, but home, even temporary, is where you can unpack a little bit of yourself, right? When you're yourself. Can you be fully yourself with your partner? As partner, no. Because that partner is also not himself, herself. It's a projection. It's a projection, and it's not them. It's a program. So it's an illusion. It's an illusion. It can last a long time. People live in that illusion for 30, 40 years, and then bam, suddenly like, whoa, something happens, and then they see that was an illusion. But then it's too late, because now it's like, what do you do? All your resources went into this, building that home. So it's a trap. That's the feeling of trap. That's why men don't want to go into a relationship. That's why they don't want to be with a woman, even though there is a great need, because women provide energy, and men without energy, without coming into adulthood and learning and conscious adult, which is a long process. It's a long process. That's why they need mom for a long time. They're dependent on women energy, and then they submit to this energy because they don't have strength, and they just be manipulated and run over, or they grow through these scenarios. They become an adult, and then they go into conscious adult. They have enough willpower, and they get out of that, and then they connect with the source themselves, and they create that home. And then from that space, they are from that space of freedom, they can create a stable relationship. But until then, it's an illusion. So that's another topic. I will go into the relationship a bit later. So that's the home. That's the home where you can be a little bit yourself. Where you can be yourself. When you're loved. When you're loved. How nice it is when you love. When you're beginning a relationship. When you're just loved. When you're a child. When your mom cares about you. Right? This care. Just someone cooked for me. It's so nice. Then it becomes a prison. Why? Because you become comfortable. You need to get out of that home. You need to create. You need to become adult. But then it becomes conditional love. So anyway, that's a pathology. But I'm just connecting you with when you have home. So what happens when you have home? It's this feel of just being wonderful. Just being loved, cared. People understand me. I can be myself. I can say what I want. I can do what I want. And I'd be supported. I have money. Right? I have money. Oh, how amazing. Even when you were a child, you had your own money. How cool that felt. How the feeling that, you're like, oh, I'm going to go buy myself. I bought myself a CD player at the time. I had money. I remember that feeling when you're like, oh, shit, I don't have to ask anyone. I don't have to beg. I don't have to do chores. I just can just buy what I want. Right? That feeling. What else is when you have, you're surrounded by people that understand you. You just can talk, you can blog, you can just be yourself. You don't care. You don't care about outside world. You live in a bubble, right? That's a spiritual community. Spiritual community creates a bubble. You're in that bubble and you're like, yeah, we all on the same vibration. We're all brainwashed. It's the best term. It's a bit rough, but in some way, yes, you're brainwashed into a reality. You create a reality within reality. It's like a simulation. It's a mini matrix inside you, just there, and then you like all bubbling inside, and you come out of that world. You're like, fuck, this world is no, I want to go back, and you stay there, and then that creates the same feeling that I'm talking about. You not becoming an adult. You're gonna become, you stay in you submit your willpower, and you go back into this childhood state, and you're there forever and ever until you either, it creates such a conflict within you that you get out of it, like I did. It created such a conflict. I started losing myself, losing my willpower. There's no willpower. I was becoming sick, and I had to, through sickness, through that conflict, I got myself out again, because I felt restricted again. And I'm very strong. My willpower, fucking, you cannot break that willpower. I start to feel anytime there is some kind of manipulation, I feel it, and I squash it. Because I have this strong willpower now. So, but that's the feeling when you inside that place, right? Inside that place, you just like, oh, it's so funny. And now we're gonna be singing Kumbaya. We're singing Green Tara mantras. We're singing this Shiva and chanting these things. And you like, wow, you look at the power, the energy, right? The energy you create. The energy, and you can talk about them, about the same things, and nobody will criticize you until at a point there will be a criticism. Anyway, and then so there is a ceiling, right? There is a ceiling outside home. There's a ceiling because it's a box. Doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if it's a castle. Doesn't matter if it's a prison cell. There is a ceiling. You cannot ask questions. Suddenly, if there is your personality comes up, right? Your personality comes up when you're a child, when you're 14, when you're 17. Suddenly, that personality is no longer within the walls of this house. You hit the ceiling of your parents' house, and now you need to exit. And you know, literally you get all your power to break through the wall. If it's chew through relationship, I had to cut my leg off, like literally, like I had to chew through my collar. That was the only way. I thought that was the only way to get out, through your willpower. When you're like so fucked up inside, so squashed inside, you were yourself at the beginning, but then you couldn't, because then you became a service personnel. You were servicing someone. Doesn't feel so. This feeling of but this when you still in this home, in this feeling, is wonderful. When it's feeling that everything is possible, right? You have money, you have support, you have people that understand you, you have this ideas. Like suddenly in a spiritual community, my business came to me. my business idea of Green Tower Health came to me. I started making products there. It's amazing because I'm like, wow, I can be a witch. I can be a witch in a castle. I can be myself. You know that feeling? And my business was doing great. My business was doing great until the different reality hit. So this knowledge, you channeling yourself, you being yourself, you being supported, you being loved, you being cared, your basic needs are met. You don't need a shelter, you don't need to look for food, you don't need to struggle against this big world. You're feeling big, you're feeling powerful, right? That's the feeling of home. So then, that feeling of home, what else is there, right? Being creative, love, but there is a ceiling. So anytime you look for a home, even if you move around, I moved around so many times, even if you buy a house here, if you do this, if you move country to country, it's the same thing. You will be in a circle from relationship to relationship until you become an adult and then conscious adult. So and that's the home. So you, even if you build, if you have enough money and you buy yourself a castle, like I wanted to buy myself a castle because I have a big ego. I need to realize this big ego. I'm here for something big, and this 3D model is restricting me. So to get out, I need to get out of this 3D model into my original self, connect with the resource up there, with love and resource and home. It's home here, and then bring it here inside the body. But what other people do right now in spirituality, it's a trend. So yes, you feel amazing when you do mushrooms and ayahuasca. How easy it is to go, how easy it's to kill yourself. It's a suicide program. When you go outside and you do 20 hour ayahuasca and you're constantly on mushrooms, or you're constantly doing psychedelics, you're constantly smoking weed, you want that feeling of home, a feeling of being understood, comfort, because you don't feel good at home. And I'm gonna get to this. And so you exit and you out there, and you can realize your life. Your money will go to shit. Your relationship will go to shit. Your wife, your girlfriend will leave you eventually, because nobody wants to live with the guy that smokes weed all the time. I don't know. I mean, it's fun for a little bit, and then what? For women also, when women is out there with Mary, with dancing with wolves and stuff, and not in her body, and then she's not practical. She can't create a home. She can't take care of a child. She can't teach anyone. She can't transmit her knowledge. She can't be herself. She's out there. It's the same thing. And men suffer in that relationship also, because women in out there. So we need to be in the body, but we can't be in the body because it's fucking hell. We created hell with all the pain and things. We never screamed. We never said anything. Hi guys, whoever joining. So. So that feeling of home is. So you either, even if you, building, if you buy a home, a castle, if you stay in a hostel, if you rent in a place, if you move in from place to place, if you created a family with your partner, and you draw stability from that, know that that's an illusion. It's an illusion. Even in spirituality right now, it's a lot of there's a lot of on Instagram. It's an illusion. They sell in you an illusion that, oh, now I met my twin flame, whatever, you know, like my star seed, and it's an illusion, and everything is wonderful. Oh my God, look at our love. We're just like, we're so in love. We're just kissing, and all the time, we're just kissing. It's an illusion. They're trying to sell you an illusion. They're trying to sell you their illusion. To get likes, because you know what is it for otherwise? You know, I'm here right now. I don't have anyone. I'm not gonna have anyone for a long time because I'm speaking truth. But not until later, and maybe in, I don't know, 4, 3, 2 years, 10 years, people will be listening to me. I will be on stages. But right now, nobody cares because I'm not speaking because I don't want you to like me. I'm speaking you the truth. I'm trying to give you tools to break out of the fucking illusion of the matrix. That's why I'm not popular. I'm not gonna do some, you know, like and kiss someone and look at me. I'm so wonderful. I'm so beautiful. No, I went through hell. I went through pain. What you see right now is real pain. I'm talking through my experience. I'm not wanting your approval, saying, oh, I want that. I'm not selling you anything. I'm sharing with you the truth, so that you can get out of this, so you can get out of that. It's a magic. Do you understand? Here on earth is magic. That's why you're going into circles. It's a magic. It's another topic. I will see if Instagram will allow me to keep that recording, but I will keep talking until I break through, until you hear me, until people that are opening their ears and their eyes, and they will hear my voice and my energy field and understand that I'm speaking the truth. I'm not here to deceive you. I'm not here to lead you in some dead world where I will just take the money, profit from you, take advantage of your naivety, because you're very naive. People took advantage of my naivety. They took my money. I gave money. I wouldn't say they did. I gave money. But this is how it works. On the internet, on the Instagram right now, look who is popular. Trends. I was in healthcare, and people are doing trends. They were coming to me with breast cancer, and they were teaching me how to heal, you know, like, because they listen somewhere out there on the internet. Some woman said you need to do this coffee enema. Well, you do coffee enema, and why did you come to me? I'm gonna give you the truth, but nobody wants to hear the truth, and that's why I'm stopping kind of this health care, because you're not ready for health care. We need to go and we need to do education first before I transform you, because it's painful. You don't want that. You still want a pill, you still want surgery, you still want a chemotherapy, go ahead. I'm here, I'm just gonna consult, I'm just gonna keep talking, I'm gonna share with you, and hopefully at some moment of time you will hear me and you'll be like, fuck, why did I do chemotherapy? Why didn't I come to this person? But it's, you have to go through that. So anyway, So this is the home you're building outside. You think you build a home. So anytime you build a home outside, you build something. It's an illusion. It's an illusion that will dissolve at some point, or you will have to collapse, or you have to break free out of it. Okay, there are two ways. You collapse and you die. When you build home outside, when you search home outside, two roads, two pills, blue pill, red pill, slow death, fast death, but then life. Choose life. So you either collapse into the relationship, you will become dependent on that relationship, and how painful it is to see. How painful it is to see when someone in that relationship, because they don't know any way, they don't have energy at all to get out of that. That's abusive relationship, and women suffer in that circle. You become dependent. You don't have any more energy. All energy being sucked out of you. You were a battery. You were a donor. You were a donor to a country. You were a donor to the matrix. You were a donor to your family. Through different programs, through guilt, through you must, you do, you have to, you made children, you must take care of your children. No, you don't. Okay, so you don't owe anyone anything. You own to your life, You're here for your life, and that's it. That is it. You're not a service. You're not a service personnel. You're not a slave. They made you believe that you're a slave, but you're not. You're powerful. You're God. Can you imagine that? Like, if I say right now that I'm God, I'm going into a church and I say, I'm God, what would happen to me? Even right now on Instagram, I can be somewhat myself, but it's gonna be a ceiling. It's gonna be a ceiling. Somebody not gonna like it because it's not in their interest. So I'm gonna keep talking until I can, and then and that's how people, got shot. So you either become flat and become, they will threaten you. Through whatever, they take food away from you, to put you in prison, or yourself you go into that submissive position, and you basically die. You die slow death. It's oncology. I had oncology, slow death. It's awful. It's a fucking awful. And then you have this guy, and then on top of that, and you go to work that you hate. It's hell. It's hell. So it's a slow death through suffering, but you die. You're gonna die. You're gonna die anyway. Or you connect with your free will. Hopefully I can help you, I can motivate you, you can hear my words, you can hear my energy, you can hear me connected to that source, and then you find your free will that's somewhere in a basement, laying like a rug, somewhere, a dirty rug, somewhere in the hallway in your home. Go pick that up, and then you power yourself out of that. How amazing women feel, how much energy it liberates when you get out of the toxic relationship, when you get out of any submissive relationships, when you get out of the country, when you get out of the system, of the matrix. But that's another story. That's another story. It's another podcast. Through death, but you have to experience the pain and death, and you have to mobilize that resource. You need resources. You need your dark power, your material dark power that the church just nailed. This is bad. You cannot use it. You're a heretic. You're a witch. You are what is it? I don't know. Anything, any bad word that you've been claimed, and that's your dark power. So with one wing of the spirituality, you can. And so, but through pain and through death, with the willpower, you can go into that source. And now let's talk about how to get there. You have to die. While you're still living, you have to die, you have to feel the pain, you have to be yourself, you have to speak the truth. It's gonna be uncomfortable. You're gonna go through phases of being completely alone, and be okay with that. Be in agony, live through that agony. With no money, no friends, no support, nothing. You have to go into that basement. You either do it yourself consciously, because you've already done the other road and you understand the other road, fuck, I don't want to go there. Because I had oncology, because my 3 relationship I had left me in that basement, in that hole. Suddenly I'm like, okay, I'm not doing that again. Then you mature, you have to become an adult. Not only adult to yourself, but also conscious adult. That's the next step. And I will do another podcast about that, a bit more in details. So it's connecting to the source. That's the road connecting to you through death. You have to fucking die. You have to fucking die, experience that agony, whatever, your temperature will rise, you'll be sick, I don't know, whatever, but it's all temporary, you have to get through it. But not through spirituality, not through mushrooms, not through, that's a temporary things. Mushrooms, ayahuasca, it's like a band-aid. It's a band-aid, you're like, no, you need to fucking die. To find that willpower that's out there, to reach for that willpower, you have to die. You have to experience pain. Pain. You have to experience the pain. The pain I was feeling every month with my menstrual cycle. I couldn't. Nobody could look into my eyes. The pain I was in. I was in agony. And then I sat with it one day and I'm like, I'm not taking any painkillers, nothing. Just feel it. And it was the most amazing experience. And that's it. I don't need any cosmetic. I don't need any, energy healing. I don't need some massage, belly massage, or some other things from out of the world. I don't need to pay anyone money. I don't need the moon cycles, moon apps. I don't need anybody, anything. But because I ran out of money, I couldn't do anything. I couldn't run around and like, oh, please help me with this, or let me buy this book and read about this, or let me do this detox. They all help, but eventually what helps is fucking sitting and facing that pain, and that's it. And that's the fastest road. And so whatever pain you go, whatever pain you're avoiding, it will repeat. It will repeat. And that's why it says like cycle with cycling painful cycles. It's a cycle. It's magic. It's a magic that was forced on you when you were a child. It's a magic. I don't know, you can call it black magic, whatever. It's a magic. It's a magic that it only works when you don't have willpower. And who doesn't have willpower is the child. Okay? So you have to grow up, you have to become an adult. You have to sit with the pain. You have to go into the unknown, into the fear. You have to go into the darkness. I don't know, whatever is the darkness right now. For me, the darkness was to go into pornography. I can tell you because, my mother beat me up when I was like 4 years old. I still remember that. When I was touching my friend, we were like, I don't know, 3, 4, 2, maybe 2 years old. Maybe it was, and we were touching each other's pee-pee. We were learning about each other's body. It was curiosity, right? But my mother, with her religion egregore, what did she do? She beat me up. And what happened in that moment? My curiosity, my spirit, and I locked myself. Sexuality and touching a man's pot is bad. And guess what? At what age did I work through that? So, do you see what I mean? So you work through that darkness. So whatever the desire, you want, I don't know, do it. Just do it. You have to live through it. There will be consequences, but you need to do it. You need to do that, okay? Otherwise it will repeat. It will repeat again and again and again. These are programs. That's magic. You in the 3D, magical 3D circus cycle play. And to get out of that is only through willpower. Willpower, facing your, not be afraid to be yourself. If you're a holy woman right now and you're afraid to kill a spider, kill a spider. Kill the fucking spider. If it bit you especially. If mosquito right now, I remember the mosquitoes. You can't do mosquitoes. You can't. You're in the spiritual community. We can't flies. No. Kill the fucking flies and the mosquito because it just bit me. Why not? Well, this is how you do in life. Somebody will take energy from you and you wouldn't be. You are in the magical circle. Okay? So I need to end this because my battery ends, and we'll meet you at another time. Thank you.